Perkins in L.A. Stephen A. joins us again from the Garden. Fellas, the Celtics, proud champion, battle-tested veterans. You would expect more from that team in a potential elimination game. Stephen A., start with you. What did you see out of the Celtics tonight?
I saw a team that quit. I saw a team that got beat down in the first half. They knew that it was a deficit that they were not going to recover from. And in the second half, it was just, it was just all about running out the clock. Jalen Brown tried to get others involved, knew no one else had anything to give. And as a result, he was limited in what he gave. You can debate whether or not that's an excuse, but that's what it came down to. Derek White had 34 points on 7 3-pointers in Game 5. He scored 8 points tonight. Jrue Holiday is a 2-time champion, okay, in Milwaukee and Boston. He had 4 points tonight. Peyton Pritchard, the 6th man of the year, gave you absolutely nothing. And Luke Cornett might as well have done so as well because he only had 5 rebounds after having 7 blocks, okay? So it's one of those situations where the New York Knicks, the Garden fans and everything else just overwhelmed them, and they had nothing to fend off the momentum that the Knicks and their fans brought into Madison Square Garden tonight.
Perk, you want to jump in there?
Absolutely, I do. This was all about the New York Knicks, and this was the most complete win of their postseason for us, them playing both ends of the floor. All season long, all postseason long, everybody kept wondering and saying, this is not a Tom Thibodeau-led team. Tonight it was, and it started with their defensive impact. I thought they got into the Celtics. They contested every shot. They closed out with a purpose. They rebounded at a high level. They got every 50-50 ball. Deuce McBride with a chase down block. OG Anunoby had 2 blocks, I believe it was, in the first quarter. Mitchell Robinson, Karl Anthony Towns defensively was spectacular. And what I saw a Tom Thibodeau challenge his team after they got smoked in Game 5, and that team responded in great fashion. We haven't seen this version of the Knicks all postseason long. Not a Knicks that competed the way that they did tonight defensively. They did a hell of a job. Offensively, they shared the damn ball, and they set the tone by getting a big fella, Karl Anthony Towns, involved early. Because the one thing we know is egos with certain players that you have to feed their ego to get them going. And I thought the Knicks made it an emphasis that we're going to go out here, we're going to get Cat involved early in the offense because he's an emotional guy, and we're going to let his energy feed off the crowd in Madison Square Garden.
We did not see anything like this all series from the Knicks. Even in their 3 previous wins in this series, they were down by double digits in all 3 of those games. Tonight, they were just incredible from start to finish. They blow out the champs. And now the Knicks move on to play the Pacers. Stephen A., we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Game 1, Wednesday, Knicks with home court in this series. How do these 2 teams match up?
I think it's got 7 games written all over it. The Indiana Pacers aren't considered elite defensively, at least by some, but they're certainly big-time offensively. They can put points up in bunches, and they can get stops when they need to stop. They're a well-balanced team. You don't look at anybody on their squad and say superstar, but they are to be big-time respected. Halliburton can ball. I don't know anybody that's calling him overrated. He is not overrated. That brother can play. Miles Turner can play. Nembhard and Neesmith can play. Mathurin can play. They're well-balanced. They're exceptionally well-coached by a champion in Rick Carlisle, and they have no problem going up against the New York Knicks. They may have lost 2 or 3 meetings against them in the regular season, but they don't have any problems going against the New York Knicks. So the New York Knicks are going to have to show up. I think they're going to have to be more efficient offensively. I think they're going to have to be more consistent defensively in order to win this series. It's got 7 games written all over it, and I believe this series will come down to a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden for the right to go to the NBA Finals.
Perk, who you got in this series?
I got Knicks in 7. Perfect opportunity for the New York Knicks to get their lick back. Hell, the Knicks took the Pacers to 7 games last year, and Jalen Brunson, I believe, had a fractured thumb. You had Josh Hart. He had an abdominal strain. You had OG Anunoby. He was dealing with a hamstring issue. Now those guys are healthy. With the addition of a Karl-Anthony Towns and a Mikal Bridges, and we're watching right now, Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride has been providing some spectacular minutes off the bench on both ends of the floor. I believe this Knicks team is going to be ready for the Pacers. I'm not underestimating the Pacers. They play agenda-free basketball. They have a hell of a coach in Rick Carlisle. They have a guy that's a real closer in Tyrese Halliburton, but he's not a better closer than Big Body Brunson. And I think Big Body Brunson, along with Josh Hart leadership, is going to take this Knicks team to the NBA Finals. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. It's going to go 7 games. It's going to be a brawl for it all, but I got the Knicks winning this series in 7.
Of course, these two teams do have a little bit of postseason history. Reggie Miller, Spike Lee, the choke
I miss you,
game.
man.
Should be all sorts of fun. It gets started again on Wednesday. Stephen A. and Perk here with us.
I miss you.
Found at ShayShayMedia.com/tour. That's ShayShayMedia.com/tour. Go get your tickets now. Knicks beat the Celtics, advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals. The New York Knicks had the third longest conference final drought, 24 years in the NBA. That ended tonight. Jalen Brunson was 3 years old the last time the Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals. It was 2000? Okay, it's 2000, excuse me, 2000. But they do it thanks to a balanced scoring effort. Miles Bridges, 22 points. OG Anunoby, 23 points. Cat, 21 points and 12 rebounds. Jalen Brunson, 23 points. And Josh Hart had a triple-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, as they roll decisively by, 38? By 38 points over the over the Boston Celtics, plagued without Jason Tatum. There've been a lot of discussion over the last couple of days. Oh, this team plays better without Jason Tatum. You mean to tell me a team is better without a 4-time All-NBA selection, a perennial All-Star? You trying to tell me your team is better without one of the better players in the NBA? I never believed that for a second. Don't listen. One game, anything can happen. We know. But everybody knows that they were not beating the Knicks. The Knicks weren't going to lose 3 games without the team's best player. But they roll by 38, and they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the team that they faced in the Eastern Conference semifinals last year. That is the Indiana Pacers. Joe, you watched this game.
Whoa, hold on.
Boston to do what they do. You want to turn up? Okay,
Hey,
go ahead.
Time out.
Because you did say,
Yeah.
Ocho. Ocho said, are you guys sure
Hey,
the Knicks don't have
before
a
the
chance?
series-
I said, Ocho, I don't know. I said, I think the Celtics 5, maybe
Right.
6. I think the Celtics gonna get it. You're like, nah, I'm gonna
I'm
ride
riding
with
with
the
the
Knicks.
Knicks. Now listen, I am a Heat fan.
All right, you in the parade is you the
I'm
Grand
the
Marshal. Take off
Now,
with it.
before we go on, now I want to make sure. Now, I don't know if we remember, or Ash, I might need you to go back and check the tape, because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, both of you picked the Celtics to win. I think, Unc, you said in 5. Joe, you might have said 6. And on top of that, then I said, okay, let's make it light on yourself. Let's make a little side bet. Both of you chose to say a certain dollar amount that
I ain't bet nothing. I say I ain't betting the man that already owe me
okay,
money.
that's what you said?
Yeah, that's
Joe,
what I said.
Joe, you owe me 500, Joe.
We ain't betting no 500, man.
I promise you, you said 500.
We bet a light 100. All right.
Okay.
We bet
Hey,
a light
hold
100.
on. What? Hey, you want my check?
But that joker know he a con. He
man.
trying to get over
God,
with everybody.
please.
I was just trying to charge a little interest.
Yeah, we had a nice little friendly bet. You won the bet, man. Hey,
Okay. So you need my cash out? What you need?
hold
'Cause
on.
I don't think.
We'll talk about it later. We ain't got time right now. We ain't got time. Oh, what we got going, baby?
Yeah. But the Knicks got 4 guys with 20 points or more. You got a triple-double from Josh Hart. Who's that? Miles McBride came off the bench, gave you 10 solid quick points, and they rolled. They were 19 of 21 from the free throw line, 16 of 46 from the 3. They shot 46% from the floor. They did a great job of they turned the ball over a little, but it didn't matter. You could tell early on in the game how this game was going to end. It was not going to end favorably for the Boston Celtics. They really had only one guy that could get anything going, because early on, only Jalen Brown was doing anything. Everybody else was just clanking and clanking and clanking. And I wonder how many points the Knicks are going to actually win by. because this is not going to be a close game, and it's not going to be pretty. Joe, what do you think? Look? Other than being outgunned, why did you think it got so out of hand so quick for the Boston Celtics?
I think the Knicks really understood the moment. They didn't want to go back to Boston, and they just came out with that fight and that desire, that intensity to win and get this series over with. I thought Jalen Brown came to play. He gave him a great little boost. But man, Unc, when you get Unc and Ocho, when you get down like that in the playoffs, and you ain't got the firepower to fight back. Oh man, this game was over well before it even really got started, to be honest with
you. Derek Wright was a minus 45 and plus minus. Jalen Brown was minus 30. Holiday minus 34. Luke Cornett was minus 16. Al Horford was minus 33. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody minus 45. Just like Shea was plus 51. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody minus 45 and plus minus, Joe. But you're right. I mean, the Knicks got it going. They pounded them on the glass, plus 19 on the glass, plus 6 offensive rebound. Everything was in the Knicks' favor. And the scoreboard would indicate that. It was a close ball game in this first quarter, 26-20. You're like, okay, Boston, you hung around. But the next thing you know, it's a 38-17. So now you're down 27. You're down 35 at the end of you're 35 at the end of the.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is a tough one because the Knicks got 6 guys in double figures. So by committee, they beat you. They 2 top guns, Cat and Brunson. They did their thing as far as playing, being efficient, making plays, just playing hard. And then these other guys like the OGs. OG gave you 23 tonight. I mean, this is closeout basketball, man. They did not want to go back to Boston. And man, New York is in a frenzy right now, man, because Unc and Ocho.
I know they're going crazy out there, boy.
Hey, they got a chance to make it to the finals, man. And this is great for basketball. Yeah.
Yeah. They got an excellent chance. These teams are familiar with each other. It's 2 different styles. One want to grind you out. The other want to get up and down. Sometimes the Knicks will go with their 2 bigs, Mitchell Robinson and Cat. The only big that the Pacers have is Miles Turner. They don't really play TB Thomas Bryant and Miles Turner together. So it's going to be very interesting to see because if you put Miles Turner on Mitchell Robinson, that means Pascal Siakam has to deal with Cat. Cat has the advantage. And then when Cat gets his butt down on the block, when Cat is not selling for threes, Cat's unguardable. There's nobody that's currently in the playoffs that can deal with Cat. Nobody. Nah, not if when he decides like I'm going to the block. Yeah.
I think, okay, Ocho, I think you're gonna have to play Cat at the 5 a lot this series against Indiana, because you're gonna have to deal with Siakam. He's a very important piece in this series who could ultimately win you a series. I don't like the fact that Cat will have to guard him, so I think you're gonna.
Well, Cat probably have to guard. He'll probably guard Miles Turner, but Miles Turner can step out to the 3. Miles is a stretch 5.
Cat is in there with big fella. If he in,
right.
With Mitchell Robinson. Yes.
But man, these 2 teams kind of mirror each other to me. They both blue collar teams, hard working.
Yeah,
don't beat you by committee. You don't really know who's gonna be. Especially for the Knicks, Brunson has been, clutch pretty much the whole playoffs, the whole season. But this is gonna be a good series, man. 2 gritty teams who ain't gonna play a lot of pretty basketball. It's gonna be some ugly games.
Ugly.
Yeah. The basketball over against the Pacers. They're out. They laying it up before you look around at the official like that was a foul. They're laying the ball up at the other end. So these are 2 teams that we saw them last year. It went 7 games. Indiana went to MSG, won Game 7 on the Knicks floor. But this is a different Knicks team. This is not they traded out Julius Randle, brought in Cat, and it seems to be working really, really well. Cat and them, Julius Randle and them, they're in the Western Conference Finals. They're waiting the winner of the Nuggets and the OKC Thunder. But I thought the Knicks, I don't know if the Knicks can play any better. I mean, you got 4 guys with 20-plus points, and look at the plus, and you got Josh Hart gave you a triple-double, and Miles McBride, who's been playing very well in the limited role that he's been playing, making big shots, playing some really good defense. It's going to be a great series. Would I be surprised if it went 6 or 7? Nope.
Okay,
would
well,
not.
I got the most important question for both of you again before a series starts. Now, when it comes to boxing, styles win fights. So
Damn.
based on a certain person's style, you understand who probably has a better chance of winning based or the outcome. So again, you got the Knicks, hard hat, blue collar team. They're gonna get it the hard way, and you got the goddamn 4x1 Pacers that like to run up and down the court. Now, who we got winning the series? Now, you said, Mike, you said, Mike, you can see it going 6 or 7 or 5 and 6, whatever you said. Joe, what you think? What the series going to?
Man, listen, I've doubted the Knicks, bro, this whole playoffs. I ain't gonna.
Now we waking up.
Can I,
Okay.
can I talk? Can I talk? I've been down the Knicks. I had Detroit, giving them problems, and I think
They did. Gave them more
they
problems
gave
than the
them
Celtics.
problems, but I think they learned through their series. They learned a lot about themselves as far as being resilient. They lost their first game at home, and I just thought it was going to be an uphill climb, but they pretty much handled their series. And I think it prepared them for, this series right here against Boston, man. They were gritty, they were hungry. Obviously, they were the healthier team, and I just thought, they had guys made plays at the right time. And I think it's their time, bro. So I'm saying that to say this. I don't really want to bet against the Knicks no more, man. But Ocho, the Pacers got 6 dudes averaging double figures in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right.
They got 6, maybe 7 dudes averaging double figures in the playoffs. These two teams, man, are so scary, and you don't know what you're gonna get out of them. I think, like I said, the same style as far as fight. And
Yep,
I'm
I
giving the
agree.
edge.
Gritty,
I'm giving
coach.
the edge to the Knicks because they got home court advantage.
Now you want to.
They got home court advantage, man. Chill. What you want from me, bro?
I was trying to double or nothing that bet. See if you want to, run it back. But okay.
We might can put a little something on the on this game 7 coming up and the next series in the Western Conference. So hold your horses.
Hey, which game 7? OKC and the Nuggets?
Yeah.
Well, who you got?
I know you look like you got Denver, so I'm gonna go ahead and take OKC. Listen,
I like the young Bulls.
Nah,
I like the young Bulls.
You sure?
I like SGA to show up and show out and close the game out the way it should be closed out.
Hey, well, sound like we thinking alike then.
Yeah. Well,
Sound like somebody scared to bet, but go ahead, huh?
so when does the Eastern Conference Finals kick off? Monday?
I think Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. So get a little rest. Pacers are well rested. They've been off for the last. So they're going to be out damn near a week by the time they play. So they'll be well rested. Would I be surprised? I think it's going 6 to 7 games. Nobody's winning. Nobody's sweeping. Nobody's winning in 5. I like 6 or 7. And they are, looking at them, Joe, when you look at how they play and look at how they, the starters and, I think the Knicks probably have like 3 or 4 guys in double figures. Man, it's just hard to pick Brunson because that game is, if the game is in the clutch moment, I don't trust any. I'm not so sure I trust any.